We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Thomas Jefferson. Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of the presidential series. Today we are talking about Thomas Jefferson, the third U.S. president. My name is Logan, this is Better History, and let's get into it. So Thomas Jefferson was the third U.S. president from 1801 to 1809. He was born on April 13, 1743, and died on July 4, 1826. One thing outside of his presidency that he is well known for is being the author, the man who wrote this very important document on the screen, the Declaration of Independence. Now let's get into the good and bad things. I don't want to waste too much time here. So the first good thing about his presidency, the Louisiana Purchase. Jefferson's decision to buy the Louisiana Territory from France in 1803 was an important moment in American history, a monumental event, some will say. It added a large amount of land to the United States. Specifically, it more than doubled the land that America had at the time. It was huge, and also had huge economic growth. Huge potential, for economic growth. It gave us places like New Orleans, which some of you know, it became one of the largest ports in American history at one time. It had many other important parts of America that we all know today. The second thing is religious freedom. Now, Thomas Jefferson was a strong advocate for religious freedom. In 1786, he established the principle of separation of church and state, and he influenced the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. He was a very big advocate, specifically for religious freedom in the First Amendment, but he loved the First Amendment. He loved the fact that freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, freedom to peacefully assemble, that's it. The First Amendment isn't just freedom of speech, and some people don't know that. That's okay. There's so many other things, and the First Amendment is a very important amendment to the U.S. Constitution. Not the best, but really important. Now, the third thing is the Lewis and Clark expedition. Following the Louisiana Purchase, Jefferson authorized the Lewis and Clark expedition to explore the newly acquired territory. This expedition was led by Meriwether Lewis and William Clark, hence the name Lewis and Clark. They provided valuable information about the geography, resources, and people of the western United States. Now let's get into the bad things. So the first bad thing is the Embargo Act. Now I talk about this in the 1812 video. Go check it out. It's up in the corner. I think it's a great video. And that's just me, but I think it was a great video. Anyway, Jefferson's attempt to use economic coercion to force Britain and France to respect Americans' neutrality through the Embargo Act of 1807 proved disastrous for the American economy. It ruined farmers' life. I mean, they had to... It was just terrible. They had next to no money because of the Embargo Act, and that was a really, really biggest mistake in American history, and a lot of people know about it. This act severely restricted American trade, leading to the widespread economic hardship and ultimately being repealed shortly before he left office. He made a mistake, and he tried to fix it before he left. That's a good man right there. The second thing is contradiction of slavery. Now, despite his eloquent pronouncements on liberty and equality, like he wrote in the Declaration of Independence, Jefferson was a lifelong slaveholder. He owned hundreds of enslaved people throughout his life, including at the time of his presidency, and failed to take meaningful steps towards abolition. It's terrible. He wasn't a William Lloyd Garrison, and he wasn't a great guy, but he's still an important man in American history, and we need to celebrate him still, even if he owned slaves. It was terrible, but that's just the truth. This hypocrisy, I can never pronounce that word, deeply troubled many of his contemporaries and continued to be a major point of criticism. Now, the last thing is the Louisiana Purchase concerns. Now, the Louisiana Purchase was a good thing. It was a great thing. It made America, really. But there's bad things to the Louisiana Purchase, such as the concerns, like I said. So let's get into that. While the Louisiana Purchase was a major territorial expansion, like I said earlier in the video, Jefferson had qualms about its constitutionality. The Constitution did not explicitly grant the president the power to acquire new territory, and Jefferson, a strict constructionist, struggled with the implications of this expansion. This purchase also raised questions about the future of slavery and westward expansion, which would continue to plague American politics. That's the end of the video, guys. I finally got one of these around 5 minutes long. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, share, all of the above. If you want to help keep American history alive, donate to this link on the screen. You know the drill. Day or night. Have a good one.